Yeah, I'm pulling for Tyson the entire way, man. So that's me. Because I'm old like him. So I gotta pull for the old guy, man.
Mike Tyson and I are the same age, and Jamie, I think you're a couple of years older than me. So we got to root for the old guys.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps, weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more.
800-537-3908. 800-537-3908. 800-537-3908. That's 800-537-3908.
KLGY HD3 Clay K270BW Belfast KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1 and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The United States, its European allies, and a dwindling number of veterans are marking the 80th anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge. It was one of the most important and deadly battles in World War II. It stopped Adolf Hitler's last-ditch offensive and opened the way for a full Nazi defeat. New rules to limit overdraft bank fees getting legal pushback. Correspondent Greg Clugston.
Some banks and banking trade groups are suing the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau over a finalized rule that limits overdraft fees that banks can charge. The rule is part of the Biden administration's campaign to reduce junk fees that hit consumers on everyday purchases, including banking services. The new rule sets a cap of $5 for an overdraft fee. The group claims that the CFPB is exceeding its authority. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Also at townhall.com, prosecutors in Texas seeking the death penalty for two Venezuelan men were accused of killing a 12-year-old Houston girl after they entered the U.S. illegally. The death of Jocelyn Nungare was among several cases this year that became flashpoints in the debate over the nation's immigration policies. Political observer Ben Dominant says it makes no sense for Democrats to criticize Donald Trump for recruiting wealthy entrepreneurs to fill high-level positions in his administration.
Especially given that one of the biggest problems we've had over the years in Washington, as you know, is all the people who come in who haven't made money, who are looking at their future through the lens of which jobs am I going to end up with after I'm done here.
He says those who have already made a lot of wealth in the private sector don't need to worry about how they might cash in on their experience. On Wall Street, the Dow dropping 58 points, but the NASDAQ composite is ahead 23. More at townhall.com.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility comes crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group now. Text PREPARE to the number 989898. That's PREPARE to 989898.
The fall of former President Bashar al-Assad in Syria has more ramifications. We have the latest from the Media Line's Felice Friedson.
The search for Syrian strongman Bashar al-Assad is underway, one day after rebel forces completed a lightning campaign that toppled the Assad regime that ruled Syria for more than 50 years in a remarkably short time. To secure its position, Israel attacked military installations and destroyed weapons facilities across Syria. Prime Minister Netanyahu boasted the brief final campaign was made possible by the pressure Israel maintained on Iran and Hezbollah. The whereabouts of Assad is not known, but some believe he flew out of Syria via Damascus, some suggesting his plane was shot down based on erratic radar tracking. Israeli forces are already deployed on the Golan Heights and elsewhere. I'm Felice Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. Oregon lawmakers approving $218 million in emergency wildfire funding after convening for a special session. The state has seen a historic wildfire season in 2024. Blazes scorched a record 1.9 million acres, largely in rural eastern Oregon, and destroyed over 40 homes. The fires cost the state $350 million. A posthumous honor for a famed photographer.
A block in downtown San Francisco has been renamed for acclaimed photojournalist Jill Rosenthal, who won the Pulitzer Prize for his iconic photo of U.S. Marines raising the American flag on the Japanese island of Iwo Jima during World War II. The longtime staff photographer for the San Francisco Chronicle, who died in 2006 at age 94, is also remembered for the 35 years he spent documenting the city's famous and not so famous for the daily newspaper. Keith Peters reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
Make us part of your holiday this year with the News Talk STL Family Christmas.
Well, I don't know what to say, except it's Christmas and we're all in misery.
We'll share personal stories and play our favorite Christmas songs.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Get you something to eat? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere? Leave you for dead?
Starting Christmas Eve at 6 and Christmas morning at 6.
It's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
Brought to you by Williams Brothers Meat Market in Washington, Best Buy Flooring, and Jack Nolan's. This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Senior Memorial. With the average funeral bill being over $9,000, are your loved ones prepared? Call 314-866-8886 or memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Cloudy and chilly today with a high in the low to mid 40s, but it should stay dry and a little bit on the breezy side too, so there is a little wind chill out there. Overnight lows tonight in the 40s and the high tomorrow close to 50, but it looks like a soaking rain most of the day. It'll move in the morning and then showers throughout the day, starting to let up a little bit in the evening. Drier, partly cloudy and 56 degrees on Sunday. I'm KMOV First Alert meteorologist Kent Earhart.
I am an atheist. I really am a liberal, but I'm also a conservative.
No matter your side.
I'm a Democrat. I'm just a bit angry, frustrated conservative.
No matter your inclination.
I'm probably a liberal, maybe more in the middle.
We are here for your place to talk about it.
I'm the progressive liberal Democrat that you said is afraid to call you.
St. Louis is number one for conservative talk.
And I'm sure we'll have a robust conversation.
News Talk STL. This hour of Columbo and Company brought to you by Gutter Pros. Water goes where we tell it. Call 314-656-7195 or visit them at gutterpros.com.
Bring joy to the world, it's the thing to do. But the world does not revolve around you. Don't be a jerk. It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
Happy holidays. Welcome to Columbo and Company on News Talk STL.
And welcome into a busy Friday afternoon here on Columbo and Company. Thank you for joining us. Tony Columbo here in studio with producer Johnny, and we've got a lot of people to talk to. Got a busy week to wrap up. Lots of stories from this week that we want to update you on and, get you the latest on. Also some new headlines of the day, and we've got lots of company to help us through the conversation. We're going to talk to Ken Williams from the Vic Porcelli Show in the next segment. He is going to join us. We're also going to get the weekend forecast from Channel 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. I just caught a little bit of that forecast there at the top of the hour a couple minutes ago, and it sounds like there's a lot going on. So definitely make sure you are listening about 2:45 this afternoon, so you are up to speed and know what to expect with that weekend forecast, especially since this is wild. There's this weekend that starts like now, and then one more weekend, and then it's Christmas. There's only 2 more weekends between now and Christmas, including the weekend that is starting right now, which is just absolutely crazy. We are also going to talk to the guys from the Haunted Garage, which you can hear every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Here on News Talk STL. It's Friday the 13th today, so perfect day to talk to the guys from the Haunted Garage. Looking forward to that at about 3:25 this afternoon. And joining us on the line to start us off, as he does every Friday, putting in a little overtime, is the co-host of Mike Ferguson in the Morning. Gabe Pfeiffer is with us. Gabriel, hello.
You know what time it is. It's apparently Christmas time.
It is Christmas time, and I cannot believe it. Crazy that there's only 2 weekends between now and Christmas. I mean,
it came so fast, man.
It did.
Yeah. Well, Thanksgiving came fast, and then of course, the day after Thanksgiving is Christmas time for me.
Right.
So yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely. It's gone by way too fast.
Yeah. It's insane. I feel like I barely have heard any Christmas music. Like usually it's like, usually you're like, you can't get away from it. And that definitely happened this year. Like I was complaining when the day after Halloween, there was, Christmas,
the decorations.
Yeah. Decorations in various stores or whatever. So it definitely, they were on time with that stuff, but I don't know. It just never felt like, usually Christmas feels overwhelming. Like it's, it's everywhere. A month, 2 months before time, ahead of time. And I don't know, maybe I'm living outside the bubble these days or something like that, but it just doesn't feel like this. Doesn't feel like
whatever it is that you're feeling about Christmas time, I'm feeling it too, because I'm picking up everything you're putting down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we are going to talk about a lot of things this afternoon. And as I mentioned, we're going to get you the latest on some of the stories that have dominated the headlines throughout the week. This is something I'm definitely going to ask Ken as well. So we don't have to get all of our theories or conversation out on this story, but it's top of mind for me. I've been fascinated by this story all week. Gabe is somebody that knows a lot about things that fly. So I gotta ask.
I knew exactly where you were going with it.
I gotta ask you, as I have so many guests this week, what do you think the drones are?
Aliens. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm actually very curious myself. I wouldn't put it past our adversaries for them to start flying their own autonomous drones around the country. We had a Chinese spy balloon.
We saw a balloon
traverse the entire country, taking all kinds of surveillance of all of our major nuclear and military installations across the country. So I would not be surprised if there were a whole bunch of surveillance drones buzzing around in key areas.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't put that past our enemies. I wouldn't put that past China, Russia, Iran, whoever it may be. But unlike the balloon, which I know there were more than one. I know there was more than one balloon. So it wasn't just a singular thing that went across the sky. There were multiple balloons flying around that time period, if you remember. But there was, the one that literally flew all the way across the country. I don't believe that China or Russia or Iran would be able to get away with the number of drones and how long this has gone on. If it was there now, everybody can say the balloons. What do you mean they did it? They did it with the balloons. But this has been going on. This story's actually been going on a lot longer than it's been in the news, and it actually also started in New York. It was happening in New York before it happened in New Jersey. So this has been going on for a while, and I don't know. I just find it very hard to believe that Iran, the congressman that said this week that Iran has a mothership parked off the east coast of the United States and is flying these drones over New Jersey. No way. Like, I just don't see that they could do that for months and months and get away with it. So I don't think it's that. My gut feeling is it's something weird. Like it's some kind of social media stunt or viral marketing. Yeah. Yeah. Or just, somebody trolling or some group trolling to see if they can just stir it up, kind of a War of the Worlds kind of thing, or you know what I mean? Like that kind of stunt. I don't know. I could be very wrong. I could be just a complete idiot. I'm prepared for that. It's happened before. But I just don't know. I don't know. That in my brain, somebody here that is, participating in some kind of social media prank or viral marketing or whatever seems more plausible than Iran parking a mothership off the coast of the United States that has for at least weeks, if not months, been flying drones the size of dining room tables across the ocean, across the state of New York and into New Jersey and going back to the mothership and nobody catching them. I don't know. That seems like the least plausible of all the scenarios to me.
I don't know, Tony, because there's so many things that we thought were implausible were proven real.
Yeah.
Not that long ago. So my thresholds for what I consider implausible has been diminished just by reality of late. I mean, I was kind of like you. I used to think that some of these things like, oh, there's no way. There's no way. Of course not. But I never would have thought a Chinese spy balloon would have been allowed to reverse the entire country. I honestly would. I was like, nah, we'd shoot that stuff down.
Right.
We've got the Air National Guard. That's like their job. Right. Is to shoot down foreign objects that show up in our airspace, especially over sensitive areas. There's no way that would happen. And then I watched it happen in slow motion. Everybody was watching the thing. Yeah. Oh, and it was like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
this
the
is
slowest,
so then,
easiest to hit, easiest to target, easiest to take down.
Slow moving.
Spy vehicle ever.
Tony, I could have done it.
Yeah,
I could have done it with one of those advanced slingshots they got there with like a BB. I could have.
Yeah, you and I could have rented a helicopter.
Oh God!
And gone up there with an AR and taken the thing down ourselves.
They shoot feral hogs from helicopters.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. We've talked about that on the Bluff City Outdoor Show before.
You could have sent two good old boys in a chopper, and that thing would have been toast. It would have been toast.
Absolutely. But I mean, you have a better understanding than most about what we're capable of seeing from the sky and from space and things like that. Mm-hmm. It's not in your mind, does it sound realistic that a ship could be off the coast of the United States, off the east coast of the United States, that's periodically sending multiple drones hundreds of miles at a time back and forth, and the satellites not being able to see them? Or do you think maybe we're seeing them and we're just not doing anything about it? That's could be too, I guess.
Well, yeah, I would suspect the latter. I mean, if there is, let's say a ship, and it doesn't have to be that big of a ship to deploy these size drones, by the way. It could be easily within the reach of any sort of Navy that's around the country or around the world. It doesn't need to be an aircraft carrier. I'll say it that way. And it doesn't need to be that far off of our coast to accomplish that, from what we considered international waters. So, I mean, the range of these things is depending on the size. The size really is going to determine your range, because that determines how big your battery is and how long your flight time could be. So based on the size of these things that they're talking about, some people have reported car-sized drones.
Yeah, dining room table is what I always hear is like one of the descriptions of how big it is, which is that's a pretty legit drone.
Sizable.
Yeah,
sizable. Now
absolutely.
They can get pretty far inland, I think, on a single charge. So I don't know. It's all possible. Now, whether or not the country would just allow that sort of thing to happen, the Coast Guard wouldn't go out and and buzz around or something, or the Air National Guard wouldn't get involved. Again, I go back to the stupid balloon. Why didn't anybody get involved until and just let it crash into the ocean?
Yeah,
so I don't know. I really don't.
You're exactly right about that. The congressman used the word mothership multiple times. There should be minimum specifications. You cannot use the word mothership. Yeah, unless it's a certain size, because just the term mothership makes I know I get that, but I get that, but but still you don't use a word like mothership unless you're trying to make a dramatic point. So you know what I mean?
Movies have taught us otherwise, that motherships are supposed to be about a quarter the size of the moon,
right?
And
normally if you shoot down the mothership, all the drones die anyway. I mean that's
exactly.
I've seen how that works.
That's what the movies tell us. Yeah, so that's how it's supposed to work.
Talking to Gabe Pfeiffer from Mike Ferguson in the morning. Ken Williams will be joining us here in a few minutes. Like I said, I am going to ask Ken what his theory on the drones are. Also, some other stories we need to dig into here, Gabe. Senate Democrats are demanding Biden extend protections for illegal immigrants ahead of the Trump administration. This is not new, but it's getting to be more official. So there's been all these reports and all these people in the media and even some politicians, going on TV or going on interviews and saying, hey, we need to do something before Trump takes over. But now it's starting to it's getting a little more coordinated, and this pressure on Joe Biden is getting a little bit more official as we get closer and closer to Donald Trump taking over. President Biden is facing increasing pressure from Senate Democrats to make a last-minute move to extend protections from deportations for some illegal immigrants before the incoming Trump administration launches a mass deportation operation next year. Senators including Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada, Ben Ray Lujan of New Mexico, Alex Padilla of California, and others held a press conference yesterday with immigration activists to renew calls to urge Biden to make moves for illegal immigrants currently protected by temporary protected status and DACA for those protections to be extended. And I guess therefore protecting them from the evil Donald Trump, who's going to come in and throw all these innocent people out of our country. Your thoughts?
Yeah, here's some free advice for any Republican operative who's listening to this station. I need you to cut an ad. It's just a split screen. You don't have to do very much. Split screen. On one side, you have various Democrats talking about all the protections they want to put in for illegal aliens. On the other side, you show all of the craziness that illegal aliens are causing in this country. And when it's all done, you fade the black and say Democrats care about illegal aliens more than you.
Mm-hmm. And when I said innocent people, I was being sarcastic for those who maybe didn't pick up on that. But, obviously that is going to be probably the biggest story and the first of what will be many sensationalized news stories when Donald Trump takes office. It's going to be the border and immigration just immediately.
By the way, I want them to do this.
Yeah,
I want the Democrats to keep doubling and tripling down on their protections for illegal aliens, because it's exactly what America voted against in this last election. That's exactly where they lost most of America. Why there were red gains in pretty much every demographic across the country. I imagine illegal immigration was one of the top issues that was that draw. So I want the Democrats to continue to stake their claim to die on that hill.
Yeah,
because it looks like their party is going to die if they continue to sit.
It was the economy, crime, and the border, which all three are connected in many ways, especially crime and the border. Those two issues are very directly connected. But it was those issues that were by far the mandate. That was the biggest. Those were the issues that pushed Donald Trump to such a big victory. So you're exactly right that the American people have spoken But Democrats didn't get the message, and they're doubling and tripling down with moves like this that we just talked about, and other stories that we've covered with people like the mayor of Denver or the governor of Arizona saying that they will not work with the Trump administration. They will not work with ICE. They won't work with border officials. They won't uphold laws if that may or may not be passed in the United States regarding this. So yeah, they are digging in their heels, no doubt about it. We're going to continue that conversation. Also, we mentioned this earlier this week when it happened. Joe Biden had the largest single day grant of clemency in American history when he commuted 1,500 jail sentences and granted 39 pardons. And I said at the time, that's already crazy and bad enough. Wait till we learn more about the specific people and the specific stories and how much worse is it going to get. And that has started. I will fill you in on some details about the type of people who had their sentences either communicated or pardoned by Joe Biden this week. And we will do that as we continue the conversation with Gabe Pfeiffer from the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show and Ken Williams from the Vic Borselli Show, who joins us in studio next here on Columbo and Company.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 941, 991 HD3 and newstalkstl.com. Free speech is alive and well in America.
Thanks for taking my call.
Right here.
You know what's going on?
Have a great awakening.
You see through the smoke screen.
It's cool to be woke. News Talk STL. Until it's not. News, analysis, opinion.
So we had the guys from the Bluff City Outdoors Show in studio with us yesterday afternoon in the 3:00 hour. If you missed that conversation, make sure you go back and download the podcast because it was a great conversation. It's fun to have those guys on throughout the week because not only do we get to talk about the things that we talk about on the Bluff City Outdoors Show every weekend here on News Talk STL, we also get to dabble into some news stories and politics with those guys as well, which we don't do on the weekends because the Bluff City Outdoors Show is all about the great outdoors, much like Bluff City Outdoors. The store is in Alton, Illinois, about a mile east of Fast Eddie's there in Alton on Broadway, open 7 days a week, only closed on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. The only other day of the year that it's closed is Thanksgiving, but that's behind us, so you don't need to worry about that. Other than that, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year, Bluff City Outdoors is open for you, and they have everything you need for your next trip into the great outdoors. All of your fishing needs are covered. All of your bow hunting needs are covered. Trapping needs are covered. They have a state-of-the-art archery range that's open that you can shoot in every day there at Bluff City Outdoors, and so much more. Tremendous asset to the outdoor community in the St. Louis area. Make sure you check them out. Again, about a mile east of Fast Eddie's there in Alton, Bluff City Outdoors. And check out the Bluff City Outdoors Show Saturdays at 11 a.m., Sundays at noon here on News Talk STL, and learn more about Bluff City Outdoors by following them on Facebook and at bluffcityoutdoors.com.
Well, if it's time to sell the house, why don't you go with the realty team that already has home buyers who are approved and could buy your house right now? That would be the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway. Two great folks, Rodney and Jen Wallner, who happen to sell 15 times more homes per year than your typical realtor. And besides the husband and wife perspective that you get, you can also do it in Missouri or Illinois. Just call 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD.
Well, Vic, you're absolutely right, of course. I mean, here's my challenge. Just give them a call. Say, hey, Mike Ferguson was talking about you guys. Call Rodney and Jen, 314-810-SOLD, because when you are making a decision on something as crucial as your home, as crucial as real estate, you want people who know what they're doing, but you want people who are ethical, easy to work with, and focus on empowering you to make the best decision. Give them a call, 314-810-SOLD.
The Republican Party of the City of St. Louis wishes you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, no matter how you celebrate the season. Join the City of St. Louis Republicans for their annual holiday party, December 18th at PH Rose. There'll be a silent auction, raffle, and plenty of holiday cheer. Go to stl-gop.com to get your tickets and learn more. The City of St. Louis Republicans wish you a joyous holiday season and a prosperous new year.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC, Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
It's that holiday time of year. Give the gift of hearing to you or a loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today. Audien Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audienhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com. Hurry, don't miss Audien Hearing's Christmas sale live now through December 15th.
Do you have over $10,000 in credit card debt? If you're feeling the financial impact with unprecedented economic challenges, DebtBlue is here for you. With DebtBlue's Success Guarantee, you pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved.
I'm just living sky high right now. So I'm very thankful for it. And the team at DebtBlue are phenomenal. They're able to work with you. They're great.
Call for your free debt resolution information now. 800-200-6895. 800-200-6895.
How are the trees, shrubs, bushes, and all of your other valuable outdoor assets doing at your home or business? Tim Jones here to remind you that Hanson's Tree Service at hansonstree.com is your one-stop shop for all your tree care needs and so much more. From top-notch tree services to outstanding organic mulch, green resource recycling, grinding and land clearing, and more, let Hanson's team of expert insured arborists take care of your yard so it looks the best it can be as we head towards fall. Get a free quote, book an appointment today at hansonstree.com. That's hansonstree.com.
News, analysis,
I'm glad you're talking about this.
Opinion.
I'm glad you're fired up about it, too, because I know I am.
News Talk STL.
Wow, wow, wow. Welcome back to Columbo and Company on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL. Hold on. That's the television. Hold on. Here we go. Let's fix it. No, that's the wrong one. Get it together, Tony. There we go.
Get it together, Tony.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Tony. That's Ken.
Hi.
Ken Williams from the Vic Porcelli Show in studio with us. Gabe Pfeiffer from Mike Ferguson in the Morning still on the line. Okay. Oh, no, he's not. We'll get him back on the line.
Gabriel.
He's had it with me. He's had it with my unprofessionalism, and he just cannot put his name on this show anymore. We'll see if we can get Gabe back on the line. Ken, Gabe and I talked about it for a few minutes, so I don't want to rehash the whole conversation, but I just got to ask real quick, your gut feeling, what are the drones?
What are the drones?
What are the drones?
They're really big machinery that has four propellers.
Where are they coming from? You got it. Do you have?
It's a disgrace that we don't know.
Yeah,
it's a disgrace that this government does not know,
or that they're not telling us.
Okay, then that's a disgrace as well.
Correct. Yep.
They should have been. When I was growing up, if there was something 150 miles off of the border of the United States, it would have been blown out of the air.
Right.
And then they would say, "Oh, here's what we found the debris of." This is the way we were. This is what we were being. This is how.
Back. I thought you hung up.
Hey,
I thought you were like, "Oh, drones again. I'm out of here."
This is how.
No. The phone line went dead. The drones are jamming.
Yeah,
exactly, Gabe. And Gabe, this is how we used to be as a country. Then now we have a balloon that can fly all the way, traverse the whole United States.
Yep.
For 5 days, and on either side of it, pick up information from 1,200 miles on either side of it.
Right.
And then it goes out into the water, and then is when they blow it up.
Does your gut feeling tell you that it is somebody, a bad actor outside of the United States?
The only reason why I think it is somebody outside of the United States is because these things are like small cars. It's quite an investment to have something like that flying around, 6 of which could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. I just can't even imagine it being a private citizen.
Right.
And if it is something public,
which, by the way, we got a phone call from someone saying that it's a company that is starting this kind of business. And I said, well, they're going to get arrested.
Viral marketing.
Yeah, viral marketing. And if that's the case, somebody's going to get arrested, unfortunately.
I think it's my gut tells me it's something more like that.
I think
that it's
it
viral
could either
marketing
be,
or like a stunt, like a War of the Worlds type.
Yeah.
Just somebody that's just like trolling and trying to get a reaction, just a social media stunt or prank or whatever it may be.
But what if they're breaking the law?
In some ways, in some ways, it depends on what altitude they're flying these things. Because if it's because at certain altitudes, that's the FAA's domain. There's a little bit of a gray area as to these kind of the low level flying machines, because that's where people get upset. It's like, hey, you're flying a drone over my backyard trying to look at my wife sunbathing in the backyard. Yeah, but the FAA doesn't control at this height, and the city doesn't really control airspace and things like that. So there's a little bit of gray area. So you could probably make the case, if they're flying at that altitude, that it's a viral marketing thing, and they're just kind of skirting the law, trying to do something funny. But if these things are high altitude, it's absolutely a violation of FAA regulations.
Well, from what I hear, guys, these things are actually flying high enough to where helicopters are flying under them and can't reach them.
Wow.
Yeah. That would be in the area of illegal.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Well, hopefully we'll get some information, some details, some transparency on this issue, and
transparency.
I'll tell you what,
Tony.
I will be on top of it. I promise, because I am fascinated by this story. I went from like writing this story off, like just kind of like, I got too much going on to worry about the drones,
right,
to now being like all in, like like down the rabbit hole with the drones. So we will, I promise you, we're going to keep an eye on it, and we'll let you know if anything develops over the weekend or anytime soon. All right, as I mentioned a moment ago, first of all, I just get your guys' thoughts on Joe Biden's historic week of commuting and pardoning criminals, the most ever done in a single day by a United States president. And then, Ken, I want to get your thoughts on that, and then I'm going to read you a story, because I've been saying all week, let's wait and see. Not only is this bad enough, let's wait and start to hear the individual stories. Who are these people specifically? And we're starting to get some of that information then that I'll fill everybody in on in a minute. But just what was your reaction, Ken, when Joe Biden took this unprecedented step of hundreds of people, hundreds of criminals just getting the old eraser? You guys are clear.
I just want to find out. I'm going to hold my opinion until I find out who they are. I mean, I think that a president can do that if it's the right cause. Like, for example, if they were imprisoned as persecuted people in a gulag, like in the DC gulag, maybe they should be let go. Something like that.
I got news for you. Wasn't any of those people.
Okay. Probably not. One of the problems that I'm having right now, guys, is that the Biden administration and all of its people are trying to sabotage things for Trump before he gets in office.
Oh, yeah.
And here's one primary example. This is that what you're talking about is one, I think, but one for sure is pennies on the dollar they're selling off the wall, the metal for the wall, the border wall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw the videos, but there are tons and tons of ready to go border wall that they're selling for pennies on each dollar, like literally
to deplete the
10
supplies.
cents on the dollar to deplete
Trump
the
doesn't
supply.
have that.
So he has to rebuild all of these. And we were talking about stockyards full of these things that they're selling to these companies for metal scrap.
Yeah.
And it is just, and they're doing it on purpose right now.
Well, Gabe and I just talked about the senators, the group of Democratic senators that today held a press conference, or yesterday, excuse me, held a press conference in Washington, D.C., calling on the Biden administration to extend or implement new protections for illegal immigrants before he leaves office. So that's obviously been something that has been talked about and people have been saying in interviews, but this is a group of Democratic senators in Washington, D.C. holding a press conference, making it, a more official step. So all of these things that you're talking about, Ken, over the next few weeks, Joe Biden and the Democrats are, I think, going to try to do as much as they can to hinder Donald Trump's ability to be productive in his early days.
But this should tell everybody that this is hurting the American people. This has
no
nothing to
doubt.
do with the Trump administration. When you try to give illegal aliens, criminals in the United States of America, protections against its government, that is a criminal act in itself.
Agreed. So, Gabe, about the sentences that were commuted, we know this, that because this is what the Biden administration told us, that the vast majority, if not all of them, were from the pandemic, people that were let out of jail during the pandemic, that were sent home because of the pandemic. Like Michael Cohen comes to mind, as somebody that was criminals that were sent home because, we can't be near each other in jails, so just go home. But you're still supposed to be serving your time and then eventually going back to jail when it was quote unquote safe to go back to jail. Gabe just hates us today. But so that's what the vast majority of these pardons and commuted sentences were. People that still had time on their sentence that had been sent home from the pandemic, and now they're just wiped clean. So that's so that's the vast majority. And then specifically, here's a story from today. These are the kind of people we're talking about. President Biden, the sentences were commuted for people from the pandemic. The president has issued more. He pardoned a judge in Pennsylvania today. Or one of the people that got pardoned was this judge in Pennsylvania.
I saw this.
Yeah,
I saw it
who was in jail and sentenced for illegally sentencing people and sending them to a for-profit juvenile detention center that he was making money off of. So that he and others, and there's another judge that's involved in this, that were making money by improperly sentencing people and sending them
Americans
to juveniles. Yes, Johnny, to a for-profit detention center so they could line their pockets with what ended up being millions of dollars. And now, not only has that guy been out of jail for years already because he got let out during the pandemic because, we can't be near each other during the pandemic. Now it's completely wiped off his record. That's the kind of people that are getting their sentences commuted or being pardoned, not others that would be a more understandable situation.
It begs the question of what did they do for Joe Biden and the Biden crime family? That's what it comes up to me as being the first question that someone should ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, I wonder if there are any other shell companies involved in that kids kids for cash scheme, and it just happens to coincide with one that was accepting money from China recently.
Yeah,
under the name of one of his grandkids.
That's a great point.
I'm just saying.
And he's also said that he's not done. They put out a statement, quote, "My administration will continue reviewing clemency petitions to advance equal justice under the law, promote public safety, promote rehabilitation and reentry, and provide meaningful second chances," unquote. That's what the president's statement was. So, Gabe, he's not done. Tell me, what about this judge that was, it's like $2.8 million was made illegally by him and his partner, with sentencing
basically
over
selling
4,000. Over 4,000 juvenile convictions involving more than 2,300 kids throughout this entire scheme. What about commuting his sentence is, what was it? It was, what about that promotes public safety, supports rehabilitation and reentry, and provides a meaningful second chance, Gabe?
Yeah, no,
none of it.
Nothing supports that. And this is one of the reasons why, I was anticipating hearing these kinds of stories from the Biden administration commutations and pardons. Is that I was just expecting more criminals, more people who deserve to be in jail getting basically. And this is one of those guys that normally the left would be up in arms about. It's some old guy in a position of power, exerting his power over other people who are coming from dire situations. The juveniles, delinquents that the left always says, well, the society failed them, and he's using them for profit at a for-profit jail, which the left hates. So this guy is like the poster child of the type of privilege and government corruption that the left hates. And their hero, Joe Biden, is giving him a pass.
Yeah, the left always tries to act like it's the rank and file police officers that are doing their job, that are evil and wrong and need to be stopped, and defund the police and things like that. It's this guy. It's these type of people, this Judge Ken, that is the problem with law enforcement and the crime issue in the United States, and he's just got a get out of jail free card.
All of these clemencies and pardons are not going to stop people from being able to investigate. We're going to find out, guys, that this Biden crime family, this Biden administration is the most corrupt administration in American history. I believe there are billions of dollars involved here. And I'm talking about I'm going to throw myself out there. Prove me wrong. These guys have been doing this for 4 years. They've been taking money from Ukraine's benefit. They've been taking money from it. He just said he sent $1 billion to Angola. How much of that is going to be laundered through something? How much of it, guys? We don't know. That $248 million bridge that they had in Gaza that failed, they still paid the $248 million. Where did it go?
And what about the 1,499 others? This is just one story of 1,500 people that had their sentence commuted. So what about, I guarantee you that's not the worst. I guarantee you that's not the worst story.
You're right,
of
Tony.
it all.
You're going to be right.
And there's going to be more to that.
Makes my stomach sick.
Yeah,
it really does. It should make everybody's.
Gabe, final thoughts on that issue, if you have any.
No, just pretty much echoing what Ken said. That I'm pretty sure that if and when all of this stuff kind of comes out, even if it's 40, 50 years from now, and they unlock some stuff, this administration may turn out to be one of the most corrupt in American history.
Yeah, and I think what Ken touched on just a little bit ago, and we talked about in the first segment with Gabe, what's going to be very important is that everybody, the media, hopefully the common sense politicians, if there are any in Washington, D.C., keep a close eye and do everything we can to hold Joe Biden and his administration and just the Democrats in general to account for the next month, because this is a very dangerous window of time because he's got nothing to lose.
And if we don't find out what happened during the last 4 years, guys, and find out that these things did happen, and find out if we don't do anything about it, if no one goes to jail, they're going to do it again. They're going to do all of this again.
No doubt about it.
Because they got away with it.
Yeah. And they've been getting away with it for a very long time. And I think that is the biggest, if not one of the biggest messages that was sent by the American voter on election day, is that they're tired of this. They're sick of all of this. All right, guys, thank you so much, as always, for your time. Gabe Pfeiffer from Mike Ferguson in the Morning, which you can hear every weekday starting at 5:30 a.m. here on News Talk STL. Also, check out Gabe's YouTube channel, St. John the Philosopher, on YouTube. And then, of course, Ken Williams with Vic Porcelli every day at 9 a.m. here on News Talk STL. Guys, have a great weekend, and thanks, as always, for your time.
Have a great weekend, you guys.
Yeah, great stuff.
Thanks, guys. God bless.
All right, we are going to roll along here. Sounds like there could be some significant weather heading our way this weekend. We will get you a full update on what to expect, help you plan out this weekend when we talk to Channel 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. He brings us the weekend report next on Columbo and Company.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
We'll speak with Rick Tyler from the Leadership Institute on the Campaign Leadership College. And at 5:20, Dr. Aaron Hudlin from the Show Me Institute.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Intervine.com, the company that makes the best flashlights, lanterns, and headlamps available on the market right now, has an incredible opportunity, promotion for you. Great promo code, Tony, Tony. My name, Tony, will get you 25% off everything at Intervine. You hear Mike McCleary from Intervine. He is our big tech AI expert. He's on with us every Monday. And this is a local family-owned business that has done some big things and is these products are fantastic. You know, we talk about the great outdoors. If you have an outdoorsman in your life, or if you are somebody that likes to be out in the great outdoors, it's so important to have a very strong, sturdy light source, lantern, headlamp, flashlight, whatever it may be. Also, just everybody needs a reliable flashlight or headlamp in their home or your vehicle. Intervine has products across the board for all of these things. They also have batteries in all different sizes. How important are batteries going to be for everybody after Christmas, especially if you have kids? So many things are battery powered, and they're going to be looking for those batteries in all different sizes to power their toys and their devices and everything else. So you can stock up on all of it now for 25% off everything. Again, all you have to do is go to intervine.com and use my name, Tony, Tony, as your promo code. There's no limits. Use it as many times as you want. Use it for as many things as you want. Just stock up on batteries if you want to with the 25% off, and do it now at Intervine. Intervine is INTERVINE. Use Tony as your promo code for 25% off at intervine.com.
Craving authentic flavors and fresh ingredients?
El Morelia Supermercado on the Rock Road in Bridgeton is your ultimate grocery destination. Locally owned and family operated, we offer top quality produce, an incredible selection of groceries, meats, seafood, and even liquor, all at competitive prices. From delicious baked goods to fantastic meat selections, El Morelia has something for everyone. Stop by today and experience the best shopping in Bridgeton. El Morelia Supermercado.
Esperamos verte pronto.
Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL.
All your hard-earned tax dollars and mine are going to fund illegal aliens who come across the border penniless, jobless, skillless, and they're given a cell phone, an identity, and a cash stipend every month.
Mark McCloskey on fire.
That beats your Social Security income if you should have the good nature to work your ass off your whole life and retire.
Mark McCloskey on fire. Sundays at 5 on News Talk STL. Brought to you in part by Modern Weapon Systems in Fenton.
Looking for a hardware store that treats you like family? Welcome to True Value Schneider's Hardware, your local gem in Old Town St. Peters. For over 100 years, we're proudly serve you St. Charles County, providing everything from lawn and garden supplies to plumbing and electrical. Need a bolt or fastener? We've got you covered. And don't forget, we're a steel dealership. Whether you need sales, parts, or service, ask for Charlie or Jerry when you come in. We're here to help. Call 636-278-4461 or visit us online at truevalue.com/Schneiders.
Steve Templeton's Weekend Forecast, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com.
Try to collect my thoughts and open hold of nothingness and loss. I've got no memory. There is a sky in my head. I didn't get that far ahead.
Welcome back to Columbo and Company on 101.994.1 News Talk STL. We are getting connected with Channel 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We'll get the weekend forecast for you here in just a couple minutes. Would remind you about our stocking stuffer giveaway happening right now. News Talk STL. We want to fill your stockings with great gifts this Christmas with our stocking stuffer giveaway. We have over $1,000 in various gifts, and all you have to do to get a chance to win is to register at newstalkstl.com. Gift cards from Tropical World Pets on Watson and Crestwood. Gift cards from Woodson Stonefire Pizza on West Clay and St. Charles. News Talk STL merch and much more, all available to you. A lot of great businesses participating in this and lots of winners and great presents that we will be giving away this holiday season. And again, all you have to do is go to newstalkstl.com to register for your chance to win and get a little stocking stuffer from us here at News Talk STL. All right, Steve Templeton, Chief Meteorologist over at Channel 4 on the line with us. And Steve, I feel like we've had, it's been fairly calm on these weekend forecasts here recently in recent weeks, but sounds like maybe there's a little bit more to talk about this time around. So
yeah,
fill us in.
Yeah,
please.
It gets a little soggy on Saturday, that's for sure. It's not going to rain all weekend, though. That's the good news. But Saturday looks like a soaker. Morning to the afternoon. The rain's going to taper off late afternoon, early evening, and then we might get another little shower when the front comes through late evening. So that's quite a bit of rain. The steadiest rain probably around 7 to 9 a.m. starts in St. Louis. So we're dry overnight. We'll actually see the temperature rise a little bit because it's a cold day. But as the warm front comes in, the temperature will rise about 37 degrees in the morning. Then the afternoon, 48 degrees. Again, that rain continues into the afternoon. Tapers off probably in the 5 p.m. time range for St. Louis, earlier to the west, later to the east. And then in the evening, around 9, 10 o'clock, we might get another quick, brief shower. That's the cold front moving through, but there's no real cold air with it. But it still could pop another little shower late Saturday evening. So bottom line is plan for something indoors most of the day Saturday. It's going to be a wet one, about 3/4 of an inch to a little over an inch of rainfall. So that's pretty solid. Sunday, though, is dry and nice, 56 for the high. So if you're planning something for the weekend outdoors, Sunday's your day. By late evening Sunday, we get back into a rain chance Sunday night into Monday. But again, 56 on Sunday looks pretty good.
Yeah, 56. And you said mostly dry except for maybe the chance in the evening on Sunday?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably not until late evening, too, is the way it looks right now.
So you mentioned, what the accumulation prediction there for tomorrow. I'm not smart enough in my brain to calculate that. Does that mean that it's going to be a fairly heavy rain throughout the day, or is this just going to be like an annoying misty rain that lasts all day tomorrow? What kind of storm or rain?
Something in between, not downpours, but I'm calling it a soaker and a steady rain. So it's not a mist at all, but it's not like a thunderstormy heavy downpour. But it's going to be a steady rain in the morning through probably at least late afternoon until that rain starts to taper off. So that's how we add up to around an inch of rainfall, which sounds like a lot, and it is. An inch of rain is a good amount, but it's spread out from the morning through the afternoon. I mean, 7 a.m. to, let's say, 5 p.m. So you're talking about, 10 hours of rainfall there.
And I know we can't quite get to Christmas today, but unbelievably, there's, including the weekend that's starting right now, there's only 2 weekends between now and Christmas. That just is wild to me how fast that snuck up on us this year. So I know we can't quite get all the way to Christmas, but next week, the week leading up to Christmas, do we see that dip back into the we did dip back into some of those cold temperatures this week. Does that continue next week?
Yeah, it gets colder. It does. So Monday, Tuesday are actually still pretty mild. Monday's a day with rain and some thunderstorms in the morning, 59 for the high. But by Wednesday, a high of 44. By late next week, like Friday, a high of 38. Next Saturday, so not this Saturday, but next Saturday, 32 for the high, low in the upper teens. So, yeah, there's a shot of some colder air coming our way late next week and the following weekend.
And then next week, I'll be asking you about a white Christmas. So just
there's still a chance.
Are you ready for ready for me to bring it up next week?
Of course. I'll have an answer. I'll be prepared.
Yeah, I can't believe that we're already there. And as always, Steve, thank you for keeping us up to speed and informing us on Friday afternoons, but you and your team all week long, every week here on News Talk STL. Can't thank you enough for all of the input you give us. Really appreciate it. And hope you have a great weekend yourself, my friend.
It's our pleasure. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Tony.
Great stuff there. That is Channel 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. All right, we are going to roll along. We are going to talk to the guys from the Haunted Garage in the 3 o'clock hour. That's always a fun time. And we're going to try to have a little Friday fun time with you as we wrap up this week. You're listening to Columbo and Company on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Hey,
Columbo here for Rockwood Charcoal. Rockwood is made from 100% pure Missouri oak and hickory, so you're cooking with the best and supporting local industry and a local business all at once. There's over 100 area Rockwood retailers. Find yours at rockwoodcharcoal.com. This is Tony Columbo, and my favorite Capriati sandwich is the cheesesteak made with American Wagyu beef from Snake River Farms, and you have to include a side of their amazing fries. I love Capriati's, and you will too.
Open 9 to 9 daily on Manchester and McKnight in Rock Hill.
Need reliable auto service from people you can trust? Look no further than Western Tire and Auto. For over 15 years, we've been your complete automotive repair center, family-owned and operated, with owner Dean Cleathermes bringing 30 years of industry experience. At Western Tire and Auto, you're not just a customer, you're family. We promise 100% satisfaction, treating you with the transparency, respect, and honesty you deserve. Visit us in St. Peters or in Florissant. For appointments, call or check westerntireauto.com. Western Tire and Auto, your local automotive experts since 2008.
Hey folks, Tim Jones here with Eric from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers. Eric, Newstetter's not one of those giant, big, sterile, big box stores, is it?
Nope. Newstetter's Fine Jewelry is a family-owned local tradition since the 60s. We're a full-service jeweler that does on-site repair as well as custom creations and one-of-a-kind pieces you will see nowhere else. We don't sell jewelry. We sit and listen to find out exactly what you truly desire in fine jewelry and give you an education so you'll fall in love with your piece for a lifetime. Don't let fine and fine jewelry confuse you. We have pieces starting at $100 that will keep your loved one happy for a lifetime and look like you spent thousands. We also have a wish list to ensure your loved one gets exactly what they want, and we're also bringing back a layaway program to make your life easier. Newstetter's is a true jeweler.
I can personally attest to that. Newstetter's Fine Jewelers at wowdiamonds.com. That's Newstetter's Fine Jewelers, wowdiamonds.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. McKinsey & Company consulting firm agreeing to pay $650 million to settle a federal investigation into its work for opioids manufacturer Purdue Pharma. U.S. Attorney Christopher Kavanaugh.
This resolution marks the first time a management consulting firm has been held criminally responsible for advice that it has given, resulting in the commission of a crime by a client. It also marks the first time that a management consulting firm is held accountable for its role in helping to fuel the opioid crisis.
McKinsey said in a statement it's deeply sorry for its work for Purdue Pharma. Also at townhall.com, Texas prosecutors seeking the death penalty for 2 Venezuelan men who are accused of killing a 12-year-old Houston girl after they entered the U.S. illegally. The death of Jocelyn Nagari was among several cases this year that became flashpoints in the immigration debate. The House passes a bill to expand the judiciary despite President Biden's veto threat. Details from Bernie Bennett.
The U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill Thursday to add 66 new judges to understaffed federal courts nationally, a bill that outgoing Democratic President Joe Biden has threatened to veto. The Republican-led House voted 236 to 173 in favor of legislation the Democratic-led Senate passed earlier this year that would result in the first major expansion of the federal judiciary since 1990. The bipartisan bill would increase the number of trial court judges in 25 federal district courts in 13 states, including California, Florida, and Texas, in 6 waves every 2 years through 2035. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
And New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy has asked the Biden administration to put more resources into the ongoing investigation of those mysterious drone sightings being reported in the state. On Wall Street, a mixed close. The Dow dropped 86 points, but the Nasdaq ahead 23. More at townhall.com.
Hi, everyone. If you or someone you know were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma within the past 20 years, listen up, because you could be entitled to significant cash compensation. For years, the weed killer Roundup was used in homes, farms, and gardens, And now studies have proven a direct link between Roundup and this deadly cancer. So if you or someone you know have been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call us and find out if you qualify for a cash settlement. 800-842-6060. That's 800-842-6060. Time to file a claim is running out, so don't delay. The call is free, the consultation is free, and you can find out if you qualify for a monetary award. Call 800-842-6060. That's 800-842-6060. 800-842-6060. Call now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
There's a recall on some versions of the popular Stanley Cup travel mugs.
Those Stanley travel mugs are everywhere, but some models pose a burn hazard. The manufacturer, Stanley, says its switchback and trigger action versions of the popular stainless steel travel mugs pose a risk because of faulty lids. When exposed to heat, the lid can shrink and detach as someone's drinking hot liquid. There were 2 burn injuries reported in the U.S. and 11 people worldwide. The affected Stanley travel mugs were sold online and in stores as far back as 2016. I'm Jackie Quinn.
And Daniel Penny, the military veteran who restrained an agitated New York subway rider and was acquitted of homicide this week, he's been invited to join Donald Trump's suite at the Army-Navy football game on Saturday. Breaking news at townhall.com. The Los Angeles Rams continue their playoff push after downing the San Francisco 49ers.
In a battle of field goals, the Rams kicked 2 more than the 49ers and beat San Francisco 12-6. The win helps Los Angeles move a half game behind division-leading Seattle. Matthew Stafford was 16 of 27 for 160 yards.
We have opportunity to keep our season alive every single time we go out there and play, and that's a whole lot of fun. And, I think our team, showed we can win football games kind of any way you want in about a 4-day span. So we got to continue to get better. By no means was it a great performance by us as an offense tonight, but, man, that was some good team football.
Meanwhile, the 49ers loss dropped them to 6-8. While mathematically still alive, they are likely not going to the playoffs. Ryan Leong, Santa Clara.
72-year-old Bill Belichick has decided to go back to school. The NFL coaching legend will head North Carolina next year. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
Cabinet hopefuls are not the only ones making pilgrimages to Mar-a-Lago.
A new beginning.
You cannot deny that there's almost like this weight that's been lifted.
And fresh perspective.
I think Donald Trump has a strong mandate.
China's President Xi Jinping said that he is ready to work with the incoming administration.
Doesn't guarantee a happy ending.
Prosecutors said consideration must be given to potentially freezing the case.
What happens next?
Until after he gets out of office.
Happens here. 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Cloudy and chilly today with a high in the low to mid 40s, but it should stay dry and a little bit on the breezy side too, so there is a little wind chill out there. Overnight lows tonight in the 40s and the high tomorrow close to 50, but it looks like a soaking rain most of the day. It'll move in the morning and then showers throughout the day, starting to let up a little bit in the evening. Drier, partly cloudy and 56 degrees on Sunday. I'm KMOV First Alert meteorologist Kent Earhart.
Number 1 for live and local
conservative talk.
Every day, something new.
News, analysis, opinion.
A ceasefire between Israel and the militant group Hezbollah.
This is designed to be a permanent cessation of hostilities.
Don't cross that line.
President Biden pardoning his son, Hunter.
Said, quote, Hunter was singled out only because he is my son.
This is just yet another broken promise by Joe Biden.
101.9 and 94.1.
St. Louis is number 1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL. This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Jewels on Hampton, paying some of the highest prices for your gold, silver, diamonds, and more. Call 314-752-5000 or visit jewelsonhampton.com.
Fox News commentary.
Your Time Person of the Year is your President-elect Donald J. Trump. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Hi, I'm Ron Kraszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel. Financial advisors, let's face it, if you're not growing your practice, you're losing market share. Stifel is a growing entrepreneurial, advisor-centric firm built for successful advisors like you. There's a reason why 148 financial advisors joined Stifel last year. Come join us and find out why Stifel is the firm where success meets success. Visit www.choosestifel.com.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
A fan or voted for him or not, any reasonable American knows that Donald Trump, our president-elect, is more than deserving of Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Not only did he win the election, he won the popular vote and made historic gains across demographic groups. He also mounted the greatest political comeback, perhaps, of all time. And I must say, it was quite delightful to see the folks at Time Magazine eat a mega-sized serving of humble pie with the selection, because it wasn't too long ago, September to be exact, that Time put out a very different cover featuring Donald Trump. It was Trump in a golf cart struggling to get out of a sand trap with the headline, "In Trouble." The cover was released shortly after his debate with Kamala Harris and before the media realized he would be the victor and do it with ease. Donald Trump is not only the person of the year, he is perhaps the most talked about and known human on planet Earth. Congratulations, Mr. President. I'm Tommy Lahren.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Download the News Talk STL app.
Love the News Talk STL app.
On my way to work in the morning.
Usually I'm in the car.
I listen on the app in my car every morning going to work.
Download the News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere. St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk. Live and local.
I need to know what's going on in my city.
News Talk STL.
Are you sitting on hidden treasure? Manchester Coin and Jewelry wants to turn your valuables into cash. We are Missouri's premier gold buyers and jewelry specialists with years of expertise. We offer top dollar for your coins, antiques, precious metals, and collectibles. From gold and silver to clocks and jewelry, we buy it all. Don't let your treasures collect dust. Let Manchester Coin and Jewelry give you the best value. Visit online at buyingvaluables.net or come see him today at 141 in Manchester and tell him News Talk STL sent you.
You don't have to wait for me to stop singing. If you did, you'd never get to turn the microphones on. So it's all right. I think everyone's used to it at this point. Welcome back to Columbo and Company on 119 94.1 News Talk STL. I am here in studio with producer Johnny. We are going to talk to the guys from the Haunted Garage paranormal show that you can hear every Saturday night here on News Talk STL. Are going to join us in just about 10 minutes on this Friday the 13th. Always fun to talk to those guys. Quick reminder that if you missed any of the great conversation in that 2 o'clock hour with Gabe Pfeiffer, Ken Williams, the weekend forecast from Steve Templeton, make sure you are subscribed to our podcast. We put the show out as a podcast right after we get off the air every day. We put it on basically every podcast platform. So wherever your favorite place to get podcasts is, I'm sure we're there. So just make sure you're subscribed to Columbo and Company. And then it's the best way to make sure you don't miss anything on the show. I want to get into a little Friday fun time. And there's some silly headlines that I want to talk about here in just a moment. We do have a quick update on the drone situation. A story that was published just about an hour ago. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is asking President Biden again. He did this earlier this week to direct more federal resources to get to the bottom of the numerous drone sightings across the Garden State in recent weeks. He'd also sent a request on Wednesday of this week thanking the president for addressing the issue that, according to this report, began on November 18th with sightings of drones in parts of his state. He said, quote, "It has become apparent that more resources are needed to fully understand what is behind this activity. The continued reporting of UAS, unmanned aircraft systems, activity has raised more questions than answers and prompted an outcropping of conspiracy theories across social media and other platforms," unquote. Murphy noted the federal law limits the ability of state and local law enforcement to counter drones. In a separate letter to Congress, the governor asked lawmakers to pass legislation to empower local authorities to use advanced detection and mitigation technology to deal with drone activity. Here's, we talk about AI every week, especially on Mondays with Mike McCleary, our AI expert. And we talk about how this is a fully unknown, unprecedented era we're going into when it comes to AI. So there's not any existing laws or rules on, or precedent on how to handle things like, all of the new issues that come along with AI and just the technological advances in general. And this drone situation is much like that. This is the first time we've ever had to really have this conversation about how much power, how much force, how much authority should local authorities have and able to deal with things like drones flying around their communities. So the governor of New Jersey has asked Congress to make a law that empowers local authorities to have more authority than they currently have to deal with these things. So the story just continues to evolve. There was some people were on social media. I was getting some messages about the drone that crashed into a backyard in New Jersey. That drone was not one of the drones. It was a hobby toy. They called it a hobby or toy type drone, not one of the big car-sized drones. So not related. Johnny just probably seriously, probably every drone owner in New Jersey right now is like, even if it's, a $10, cheap toy drone, like, I should just fly this down the street and everybody will freak out if they see a drone in the sky.
2 Christmases ago, I had the kids that I never talked to down the street from me came up. Hey, sir, is there a drone in your backyard? Oh. And I was like, I looked at him for a moment and I was like, oh, hold on, let me go look. No, I don't think they ever got that drone back either.
Yeah, we've had, my son had a drone that was like shaped like a pterodactyl. That was like,
that lasted about 6 minutes.
Yeah,
right.
And the battery, and when it did work, you charge it up. It'd take like, an hour and a half to charge up. Finally, the light would turn from red to green. It's like, all right, the drone is charged. Let's go.
10 minutes.
Yeah, tops. Like 6 minutes, 7 minutes. It had like a beeping, like a battery indicator that would start like this obnoxious, like start like feel like almost immediately after it finally got charged up. So yeah, we don't have a lot of. I have had though, when I used to play old man slow pitch softball a few years ago, we had a game once where a drone flew over the park and like literally stopped right above us playing this game.
I've had it happen to me before
too. It wasn't anybody that was around us. Like there was nobody in eyesight that was piloting this drone, but it was clearly like just watching.
Yeah, they're probably in their car
what
or
was
something.
going on with the game, like just what was at the park or just flying around.
So I had it happen to me down by the landing. I was riding my skateboard with a couple of dudes, and we might partake in some adult beverages from time depending.
Sure.
And one came floating down, and so we're all and we used to play a game there where we would fling beer cans with a little bit of spit on it as the trains would roll by, and we would try to get the beer can to stand like in a cold car or something, like like almost like bottle flipping.
Yeah. That's like extreme bottle flipping.
Right. Well, I mean, but we wouldn't get near the trains. We were like standing there. So like it was just an easy, and then occasionally we would just try to get a beer can on there and get it to stay.
Yeah.
And the drone comes hovering, and then you see all three of us start finishing our beers, and then we're kind of sizing up the bottom of the can to see how much weight, because that's how we would play the train game. Is you got to leave a little bit of weight in there to get.
Sure.
So we're start sizing them up, and then my one buddy goes first, and the drone goes a little higher, and then you could see the camera move, and then I shoot my shot, completely miss, and then my third buddy's winding up, and he just lifts up and goes away.
Mhm.
But I mean, he was hovering and he's like, oh, look at these. This is cool. I'm going to get some great footage. No, you're not. We're going to knock your drone out of the air.
Right. And this is a part of the reason that I believe that there's every bit as good of a chance that this is a prank, a social media stunt, or a viral marketing stunt as anything else, because this type of content already exists. There are YouTube channels that get thousands of views existing right now that are just people flying their drones.
I've watched it just because I wanted to see something. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to go somewhere and I was like, well, I can't get back there. I can't get down there.
Yeah.
Can't get under there for whatever.
They
I'll look
fly
up
their
some drone
drones
footage
over-
and
yeah.
it'll show me, like I can, what's under that bridge? Well, I'll hopefully find it on a
Yeah.
drone guy's page or,
Mhm.
like what's the conditions looking like for somewhere?
Yeah.
You get a nice flyover in the past few weeks. Like,
Yeah, they'll fly. Yeah, they'll fly in, like you just said, they'll fly in hard to reach areas so people can see them, or they'll fly over public beaches or parks or whatever just to see what
you ever
they
see
can
the dudes like flying through the abandoned buildings and
yeah,
stuff? Like,
or
oh,
flying
it's
through,
intense.
yeah, right.
Ugh.
Man, they can fly, like if you think about like just the standard park playground that has like the tube that kids can crawl through.
Yeah.
They'll fly the drones through that tube and they're miles away and those are very small, tubes. You only got a few inches on each side. Otherwise your drone is, and they will fly those drones through those tubes from miles away at 20 miles an hour. Like it's crazy what they're able to do.
Back to the big table size drones though. Like,
yes,
you get it even now, they're hip now where you get a consumer drone. Sometimes it won't even go in the air if you're too close to an airport.
Right.
Like
right.
it won't even, like if you got one of those nice fancy ones with a camera and GPS.
Because they have to coordinate with the GPS satellites.
Yeah.
So they know when they are in an area that they're not allowed to be in.
And it won't even go in the air.
Right.
And I mean, are you serious? Like we're talking of the port of New Jersey, right? It's a port. There's several airports.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. Whoever's doing this is probably, is probably either building the drones themselves or figuring out a way to bypass that technology, because you would almost think that, I mean, especially if it's the Iranian mothership. I mean, that's obviously a whole different situation, but wherever these things are coming from.
Speaking of the mother, that reminds me, we grew up with V. Remember V?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of scarred by it a little bit,
go.
and you said mothership. Like usually
I
like
people are running the drone. Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like the drones are coming from somewhere. So they're traveling. They're traveling some distance to get to, where they've been sighted in New Jersey. And you'd think almost for sure at some point they've been in restricted airspace near an airport or near a public arena.
It's more mind-boggling than the stupid balloon.
Yeah. So the governor of New Jersey not only calling on Joe Biden to be more transparent and more urgent with the government's investigation, the governor of New Jersey is also asking the United States Congress to pass a law to give him and just local law enforcement, local authorities across the country more power and ability to react to these drones than they currently have.
Pardon whoever shoots one down, Joe.
Going on. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Before we get the guys on from the haunted garage, this is an interesting story. And I remember this. I don't know if I would have guessed it, but I want to see if John.
I think I know what it is.
The most dangerous toy ever made, or at least what has been labeled as the most dangerous toy ever made, just sold at auction for $13,000, which
in the box,
I was waiting for it to be, like $1 million, but $13,000. Yeah. The most dangerous toy ever made. Do you know?
I'd say the most dangerous toy and infamous.
And it is fully
notorious would be jarts.
That's what I would have guessed.
And it's not jarts?
That is exactly what I would have guessed. Jarts. That was
AKA
only
lawn yarts for the younger listeners.
Yeah. That would have been, that was the first thing. That
okay, so
in my
what's
head.
more dangerous than jarts? It had to be before us then.
It is. The Gilbert U-238 Atomic Energy Lab.
Oh, I was going to say the gas-powered pogo stick, but because I'm sure that split some teeth. But it's an atomic lab.
The Gilbert U-238 Atomic Energy Lab, which was sold to children in the 50s. It came out in 1950, and it was on the market through 1950 and 1951. It came with an actual jar of uranium.
Awesome.
It had radioactive material.
So does the one that's sold, does it include the uranium?
Yeah, because it's still fully
that's
sealed.
awesome.
Yeah, it has.
I knew it had to be way before us.
4 glass jars, each with a small amount of radioactive material inside, so you could use a Geiger counter to test radiation levels. That was the point of this toy. The claim is it wasn't that dangerous as long as you didn't open the jars, but you're selling them to kids. They're going to open the jar. Less than 5,000 total sets were sold between 1950 and 1951. It got pulled off the market thanks to government restrictions, because even in 1950, we know that was a bad idea. And
get in the back seat of that steel car with no seat belts, and we'll play with your uranium, kid.
So due to only 5,000 total being sold and it being from 1950, obviously full sets are rarely seen.
You said 13 G's it went for?
$13,200.
I figure that seems like that's low ball.
And they call it in especially good condition. Do
you got a picture of it over there?
Ended yesterday. I do.
How's the picture? No, just how's the box look? That's that's what it's really about, I think.
This is like a promotional picture from the day.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's like a picture of the ad.
Because I mean, anything in a box that's lived from the 50s, I think that's kind of low ball. It's completely dangerous. Sounds awesome. It's worth 20 grand, I'd say, if you ask me.
Makes jarts look like solitaire. I mean, like
a Nerf. That's Nerf gun. That's Nerf gun territory.
You thought flying metal darts coming, dropping out of the sky was dangerous for us in the 80s and 90s. The 50s, they were giving kids uranium.
Awesome.
I mean, just amazing. So if you got a box, if you got the Gilbert U-28 or 238,
boomers, and you're down in the basement.
If you need a quick 13 grand, go grab that sucker and put it out there. All right, we are going to roll on this Friday the 13th. Perfect day to talk to the guys from the Haunted Garage. They join us next here on Columbo and Company on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and newstalkstl.com. St. Louis's place to talk.
Freedom of speech is one of the anchors of our society.
News Talk STL. This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
Time magazine, which has never been a friend of Donald Trump, is going to make a killing because Time just named Trump as Person of the Year. Oh, I know that should be Man of the Year, but in this day of political wokeness, Time magazine does not want to venture too far from safety. Time first named Trump as Person of the Year when he was elected in 2016, and now he's back. And the journalists were asking him tough questions. What are you going to do about illegals in our country? He said, well, I'm going to do everything I can to get them out. I don't want to keep them here. We're going to send them back to the country from where they came. And if those countries won't take them back, we will put tariffs on those countries, significant tariffs, where they will definitely want to take them back so they can have trade with us again and not pay such a high price. Time magazine has 1.3 million print subscribers, 250,000 digital, worldwide, a reach of 120 million people. But here's the thing. This Time magazine, as much as it's against Trump, it's going to sell out. If you can't find one in your local store, go to a blue state, a blue city. I'm sure you'll find some copies.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
John Beal knows that right after a hailstorm, new roofing companies start popping up everywhere. But the Small Business Administration reports 96% of them go out of business within the first 5 years. So how good is that warranty? John Beal started in the roofing business, helping his granddad and his dad. Always offering the best roof, best price, best guarantee. John Beal Roofing, not some fly-by-the-night operation. Call my friend John, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Hey, how you doing? Santa Vic here.
And Santa's head Vic head here.
And you can win some great prizes with News Talk STL's St. Louis Conservative Christmas.
You forgot the ho-ho-ho. You forgot the ho-ho-ho.
Oh.
No, ho-ho.
Oh.
A St. Louis Conservative Christmas. Log on to newstalkstl.com for your chance to win. Brought to you by Woodson Stonefire, Tropical World Pets, El Morelia Supermercado, and Metro Shooting Supplies.
Oh.
Here's great news. Napoli Kirkwood is now open. So that means fine dining right in the heart of Kirkwood. So you have the original Cafe Napoli in downtown Clayton, Napoli 2, Town and Country, Napoli 3 on the streets of St. Charles, right next door to Napoli C, plus Napoli Brothers Pasta and Pizza in the Chesterfield Valley. All of those locations, and now adding Napoli Kirkwood. What a great place to dine. Napoli Kirkwood, now open. I want you to know that McGuire Moving and Storage is silver certified, which means McGuire has a quality reputation helping older adults move local or long distance. And something else to know, Josh McGuire, president of McGuire Moving and Storage, is the only certified moving consultant in Missouri. I'll tell you, once you met Josh, you're going to know your move will be easy. And I fully endorse McGuire Moving and Storage. McGuireMoving.com.
Danny Define here, host of the all-new show, The Next Gen, with me, Danny Define. We're going to cover all the hard-hitting topics on this show, from national headlines to things happening right here in St. Louis.
Next Gen with Danny Define, Sunday nights at 8.
Right here on News Talk STL.
Welcome back to Columbo and Company on 101.9 News Talk STL. Tony Columbo here in studio with producer Johnny. We are getting the guys from the Haunted Garage on the line as we speak. The Haunted Garage you can hear every Saturday night. So tomorrow night, 9 p.m. here on News Talk STL, our paranormal show. Can't wait to check in with the guys on this Friday the 13th. What a perfect day to talk to Frankie and Dan from the Haunted Garage and Haunted Souls Paranormal. Also, quick reminder about our stocking stuffer giveaway is kicked off this week. And your chance to win, we are giving away over $1,000 in various gifts. And you can register to win. You can see all the gift cards and all the different prizes that we're giving away, stocking stuffers that we're giving away at newstalkstl.com. Get yourself registered and you can win. Again, newstalkstl.com for the stocking stuffer giveaway. All right, we've got Frankie, and is it Frankie and Dan? Frankie, is it you or is it you and Dan? Who's with us today from the Haunted Garage?
It's both of us.
All right, good. Did I tell you, Frankie, how good the segment was last week when it was just Dan? It was awesome conversation. It was wonderful. It was just lots. Did you hang up on? I don't think I've ever made Frankie speechless before. I love it. So
that's awesome, Tony.
Yeah, thank you. Friday the 13th.
It was a great show, but the ratings are better with me.
Yeah, well, that may or may not be the truth. We're wrapping up a busy year for you guys. We did talk about this with Dan last week, but it's worth repeating that this was a banner year, largely thanks to you guys for the St. Louis paranormal community with the opening of Emmaus Village and also the announcement about Arcadia. as we wrap up the year here, just give us the latest and sort of recap where we're at overall, but especially with those two now new to the community, new haunted locations that I think are going to be a big deal in the coming years for paranormal investigations.
Yeah, I mean, you set it up perfectly. I mean, next year we introduce 2 new properties. You know, Emmaus Village is just this place that everybody, all the pros that have come out already are just already booked for next year. And our events are booking up really fast for Emmaus. And we haven't even gotten Arcadia on the calendar yet as far as getting tickets done. And people are already on standby. So Arcadia is this place that's never really been investigated. I mean, there's a smaller team that was big at one point, but they're kind of like really just a bunch of guys that kind of do it privately now. They don't really do any events or anything. They went out there and they seem to love Arcadia, and we worked with Darla and Matt out there, and they really want us to do the same thing that we're doing for Emmaus Village. So we're excited about Arcadia. This is a very incredible building and place. I mean, this was once the place where Bob Hope would send his niece, where Fidel Castro would send his daughter.
That's incredible.
I mean, this has an incredible person.
Yeah, no, that history is just absolutely amazing. And it's amazing that you guys found these locations and now are making them available to the paranormal community. And you know, both people that are longtime paranormal investigators, but also people that are just kind of getting into it. And as we end this year, you know, it's this time of year is kind of always when you kind of, you know, look back and take a little inventory and kind of think about, you know, where you're at with momentum or growth and whatever, you know, area of business you're talking about. Would you say that the 2024 was a big year for the growth of the paranormal community in the St. Louis area? And if so, do you see that growth continuing into the new year?
I definitely think that there's a line that's been crossed. I think that as you see channels like Discovery Channel, Travel Channel, Motor Trend, all bankrupt and going away, and the failure to get any kind of actual real paranormal show on TV instead of just celebrities with big egos, when people are actually coming out to the events and really experiencing what it's supposed to be like and what, you know, not this demon chasing thing, but more like what do the entities need and how do we help these people, you know, transition, or if they want to stay, how do we keep them and keep it respectful for people going to the places. So I think big is underestimated. I think it's going to be huge next year. I think it really, you know, with Trump being president, with the economy already rolling back, I think people are going to have more, you know, spendable income here where they can start doing fun stuff again instead of, you know, penny pinching to buy groceries. When milk is $7 and eggs are $9, they now have that money freed back up, as we'll see in the executive, you know, things that he's going to be doing in the first year. So I think it's going to be a huge year next year for paranormal. And I think that we're seeing a lot of unity.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of paranormal teams come together and try to work together and support each other. And that's why we're staying on the radio. That's why we're keeping our radio show. We're going to announce 2 new sponsors soon. So we're really excited about that. But yeah, I think we're growing, man. And it's all thanks to like News Talk STL giving us a shot, giving us a chance to have, you know, paranormal talk amongst everything else that's going on in the conservative world. So that was a big thank you to the guys over there. And, you know, we really appreciate everything that they've been able to work with us and have a show there. And
we love it.
Tony. I mean,
We love you.
it's
Yeah.
awesome.
We love you being a part of the team, a part of the family. You guys know that I have a long history of working, you know, with the paranormal community, and I'm a big fan of, you know, of paranormal content and doing these types of investigations and just trying to, you know, get the answers, you know, that people have, you know, we've all been asking, you know, since the beginning of time, you know, about some of, you know, the afterlife and things like that, you know, these, you know, entities, and are they real, and what do they want? Why are they here? And all of these things. And I think that along with this growth, and correct me if I'm wrong, but, you know, when you talk about paranormal, you can make that umbrella really big. You know, you could be talking about ghosts, you could be talking about aliens, you could be talking about cryptids, you could be talking about so many different things. But I think this goes for everything that falls underneath the paranormal umbrella. There's also not only more people interested, but there's more acceptance, I think, than ever. There's more validity in having these conversations. Whereas before, you know, if you would have talked about aliens, you know, you'd have been labeled a whack job. And now there's, you know, there's government hearings, public government hearings about things like that. So I don't know. Have you seen that too? Like just along with that growth, the acceptance of having these conversations and talking out loud about these things?
Well, I think a lot of that has to do, Tony, with the whole TikTok and social media. Social media, people can see a lot more of the paranormal on social media, and it's becoming a regular thing. I believe we had a conversation about that with the aliens. Like, you know, government has showed movies and kind of, you know, about aliens, and then they come out and said, oh yeah, we have aliens, and no one's like, you know, going crazy about it because, you know, they've kind of made all these movies. And same with the paranormal. Yeah. People are all over TikTok and they're desensitized. They're desensitized. Thank you. That's what I was looking for that word. Desensitized to it. So now it's become a normal thing. I mean, you still have your church, your Bible thumpers. They're like, oh, that's a bad thing, you know. But
I know a lot of people
you know,
that are you know very into their faith, you know, Christian or otherwise, that you know are also very into the paranormal. Though it's not. I know that does exist, no doubt about it, that exists. But I think the acceptance, even with you know people of faith, is at an all-time high, and that it doesn't necessarily have to shake your, you know, your beliefs, you know, or your religion to have these conversations like it maybe would have in the past. Would you agree with that? Do you see that as well?
No, I agree 100%. I think that like, you're always going to get the Christian nationalist and the bigger groups that, you know, thinking that we're doing necromancy or witchcraft, but that's not what we're doing. You know, if you knew anything about us, we don't allow those types of things into our buildings. We are simply asking questions and trying to get answers. I mean, I think that's what having locations like me and Dan have really kind of open you up to a world of paranormal where it's consistent. You're always going to see me and Dan or some of our team members over at Emmaus and Arcadia. So you're always getting that same experience where you don't have, you know, other jokers trying to run things unprofessionally and allowing people to bring in like candles and witch boards. And, you know, we're just, you know, we just don't do that. We don't allow that at our events. So I think that it does cast a wider net for people to wanting to do the paranormal investigations the correct and right way.
So
that's what we do. That's the office. More than just going, being in buildings that are old. It's being around people that are fun. It's being around other people that are very seasoned in the industry. And it's about learning from those people and creating new ways of communicating with the unknown. All aspects.
Your phone kind of cut out there just a little bit. Could be having some paranormal interference with the conversation here. We're almost out of time, guys. Talking to the guys from Haunted Garage, which you can hear every Saturday night here on News Talk STL. What is your focus here at the end of the year? You guys did some great investigations in 2024 with obviously Emmaus and some cryptid specials and things like that. What's the focus for you guys right now?
Focus both. It's open for Dogman. There have been Dogman sightings around Marthasville. We do have that event coming up. We're doing our throwback to Harry Price investigation. We won't be using any electronic. And then we're going to with the chef in Louis to be doing a Gut Christmas here where it's going to be a 3-course.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, we're going to have to just catch back up with Frankie and Dan from the Haunted Garage. They'll be with us next Friday. That connection got a little bit rough there at the end, but the important thing to remember is the Haunted Garage every Saturday night at 9 p.m. here on News Talk STL, and to keep up with everything that their team is specifically working on. Information about Arcadia, information about Emmaus, and when they do open up those investigations in the new year, you can keep up with everything at hauntedsoulsparanormal.com. Souls with a Z, hauntedsoulsparanormal.com is kind of one-stop shopping for everything that the team is doing. So make sure you check that out. All right, that is going to do it for Johnny and I today. We'll be back Monday at 2. Keep it here for the O'Reilly Report next, followed by the Tim Jones and Chris Arp Show. Have a great weekend, and thank you for listening to us here at 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
The Herzog Tomorrow Foundation provides private school tuition scholarships through Missouri's new Most Scholars program to cover the cost of accessible, high-quality schooling.
Hi, this is Myella Esser with the Herzog Tomorrow Foundation. Our private school tuition scholarships wouldn't be possible without the support of generous Missouri taxpayers. If you're a Missouri taxpayer interested in redirecting your tax dollars and sending them to Missouri students in need of a better education, please contact me at herzogmostscholars.org.
Better education for students creates a better tomorrow for all. Learn how you can help provide a better education for Missouri students at herzogmostscholars.org. That's herzogmostscholars.org. Also, sign up for The Lion, an initiative of the Herzog Foundation that carries articles covering a wide range of issues facing American families and culture. herzogfoundation.com. That's herzogfoundation.com.
Dive into adventure with great American